Awesome.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry about that. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm so
Good.
excited to speak to you. How's your day going?
It's, a busy time, I feel like at work and just personally, but I'm here talking to you. So that was my goal, just to make it through the day, have
Mhm.
this conversation so I can't complain. How are you doing?
I'm great. Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come speak with me. It's such an honor speaking to an amazing pageant vet. So let's get
Yeah,
started.
let's
So
do
this
it.
is Amaya, everybody. I'm going to read her little bio, and then we're going to get into all the questions and fun games. Amaya Allen has been involved in the pageant community as a competitor, coach, judge, and hair and makeup stylist for 12 years combined. Throughout her career, she has captured numerous state, national, and international titles. Upon graduating from Howard University in May 2022 with a Bachelor's of Science in Strategic, Legal, and Management Communications, Amaya accepted a full-time role at the National Football League in New York, working in public relations and social responsibility. Welcome, Miss Amaya. Wow,
Yay.
where do I even begin? There's so many layers to you, so many things to talk about. But I think I'll first talk about your pageant experience. I think the first time that I heard of you was when you won your big IJM title. So why don't you talk to us about that? Was that your first ever like big international title?
Yeah, so that was my first international title, but before that, I had won two national titles. So when I was, well, first of all, I started pageantry at 10 years old. I was super shy and was just looking for an outlet to like showcase my girly side. I wanted to dress up and do all the hair and makeup and that stuff, and had no clue how pageants would impact me, like as an adult, as a teenager, as a young preteen, going through all the things that young preteens go through. So I started at 10. Before I won IJM in 2016, I was the international junior teen. I was the Miss American preteen for co-ed, if you guys remember, in 2012. And then I won USA National Miss Junior Teen in 2014. But the year before I won IGM in 2016, I actually competed and got third runner up. So that was like a huge accomplishment to me, to feel like I did well in the first year, come back and come back even stronger and win that year and be bonded with like literally some of the most amazing girls. We are still all extremely close to this day. What is that? 5, 7 years later. And so yeah, that was like my IJM era. It was amazing. Our directors were great. We traveled the world and just formed a sisterhood, a bond that lasts a lifetime.
Fantastic. And do you have maybe a favorite memory of when you were the IJM team that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we took an international trip to Australia that year. Our youngest junior princess, Ava Yub, was from Australia. So we all took like the 16-hour flight over to come visit her. And one of the coolest experiences that I still talk about to this day is staying the night at a zoo. We spent the night at Taronga Zoo. So it was basically glamping. And we, bunked up with our sister queens and our mom. And I remember like waking up, being half awake, and hearing the footsteps of monkeys like hopping over our little cabanas or tents or whatever we were staying in. So that was something I'll never ever forget. And just one perk of being the IJM junior teen in 2016. Yeah.
Fantastic. Were you able to pet koalas or did you see any kangaroos?
You know what? Where we were in Australia, it was like against the law to hold koalas. So we just got to see them, but we did go in this like open sanctuary where there were ostriches just roaming around, kangaroos and lemurs. Like it was crazy. So for someone who's not that outdoorsy, it was a different element, but it was a lot of fun.
That is fantastic. And since you were able to win multiple national and international titles, do you feel like pageantry has impacted your life? It obviously has, but do you feel like it has immensely impacted your life? And what is something that you have taken from competing in pageantry that you've been able to implement in your every single day life?
100%. I think now being in the professional corporate world, even when I just start speaking and presenting on calls and, doing various things that fall within my job, people automatically pay attention. And that's not because of, the education I received in the classroom. It's because of the skills that I learned training for pageants and being on stages. So I think one of the biggest ways is how I present myself, whether that be aesthetically, like showing up as my full self, having a nice outfit, just looking the part. I think one thing we learn in pageants is like the art of overdressing. If you go to a rehearsal and they say, oh, it's casual leggings, that means nothing to us pageant girls. And so I've carried that throughout my time. But other than that, like just the confidence that I've gained, the impact that I've been able to make on my community. And the biggest thing for me is the sisterhood. I grew up and still am an only child, so I don't have siblings, and I didn't know what it was like to have sisters who you can rely on. I'm extremely close with my parents, but I just think a sibling bond is something different. And so through pageants, I've met amazing women like you and people who I consider my sisters. So those are just a few ways that it's impacted my life, but there are so many more too.
I love that. And I'm so thankful that pageantry has brought us together. I don't know if you remember this, but you actually interviewed me for a mock interview when I was a junior team. You remember
Really?
that?
Maybe. Was it through like Kendra and her
Mm-hmm.
coaching?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that's so
remember I
cool.
was I was a little bit fangirling because I was like, oh my goodness, I've looked up to you for so many years. And it's just such a whirlwind that I'm able to interview you now. So I guess it's just life is insane, and to be able to network through the pageant community, meet so many people, it's honestly so amazing.
Yeah.
And one thing that I wanted to highlight that you said is you gained a lot of self-confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and you need that, especially in the position that you are working for the NFL. So can you please talk to us about that amazing opportunity and how you were able to utilize that self-confidence that you learned in pageantry to the job that you have now?
Definitely. I mean, like, what a huge honor. I went to Howard studying public relations, but also having a minor in sports administration. So sports was an industry that always intrigued me. And, to be at the number one sports organization now is just something that I'm so, so grateful for. And the position that I'm in is within public relations, but also social responsibility and community relations. So we're dealing with all of our off-field initiatives, whether that be Crucial Catch, which I'm wearing a sweater for right now, that deals with, cancer prevention, or Salute to Service, our military appreciation initiative, or even Inspired Change social justice. So I'm able to leverage the platform that we have as a National Football League and promote positive messages and help players and teams in our 32 clubs do the same. So there's no doubt that takes a lot of confidence on my end. I'm in a team where you're kind of just expected to know your role and to do it and perform well with like little to no supervision. I own a lot of projects. I talk with teams all day. I talk with, representatives and people who are pretty high up, like the commissioner and the commissioner's wife. So it's a role where like you don't have time to second guess yourself. In sports, they move so fast. I just came back from being at Pro Bowl in Las Vegas and my first ever Super Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona. And now I'm gearing up to go to our NFL Combine on Monday. So things move extremely, extremely fast. But I think just being in pageantry and having that confidence, having the ability to present myself and to public speak has taken me so, so far. And, I'm just beginning. So who knows what's to come next.
Mhm.
But it's been amazing so far.
That is fantastic. I want to congratulate you on that
Thank
because
you.
I know that is such an honor to be able to even tell someone that you work for the NFL. So,
Yeah.
congratulations. When you were at Howard University, would you have thought in a million years that you would be working for the NFL?
I mean, I always knew I had the potential. I don't like to say like I never would have thought I've been here, because the reality is like I've worked extremely hard, and I'm when I set my mind on something and my heart on something, I go after it. And so I remember in high school like sitting in school's library, Googling like sports jobs in New York or positions at the NBA or at the NFL. So I think at Howard, I really made it a point to not only do well in the classroom, but to really gain relevant sports experience. I remember being in my freshman year, I walked into the athletic department and I was like, hi, like I want to be in sports and I don't really know what I want to do in sports, but whatever you guys have open, like I'm willing to volunteer, do whatever. And so the first job I got was like doing logistics for an event, setting up in our museum and like doing the Instagram stories on game days, which is like, it's cool, but it's nothing, too tedious and nothing too laborious. So I went from that to my senior year, like traveling with the football team, creating content, writing stories for our website, helping players, like setting up locker rooms. So really just touching all areas of sports. And I was able to speak to that on top of my pageant experience, like in interviewing for my role currently. So it's, I mean, it's just the product, honestly, of like hard work, dedication, and not being too high and mighty for menial jobs that could give you like really, really good experience that you can speak to.
I especially love how you said your freshman year that you didn't necessarily do a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I love that you spoke about, because I feel like so many times in society, people think that individuals get jobs right away or they get that highest position easily. No, it
Yeah.
takes time, it takes dedication, it takes work. And you're just a testimonial of that. So I love how you were able to highlight that, because I think that so many people think it's so easy. And you did say you go to Howard, and this is HBCU-ish. So of
HQ.
course I have to talk about your experience there. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I mean, you graduated from the illustrious Howard University. Please talk to us about that. Why did you choose Howard out of all of the phenomenal HBCUs?
Man, Howard honestly like was the best decision I could have ever made. And I think I appreciate it even more being removed. Because just the network, the alumni, the pride that I have. I went back to homecoming as an alumni for the first time and I was just like, I was living. But I knew for sure I wanted to go to an HBCU. I grew up in a suburban town in Illinois, and while there were people who looked like me, we weren't necessarily on the same level in terms of our drive and our passion and our motivations. And so I knew I wanted to be in a community, in a learning environment where people looked like me and would push me to exceed and to excel. And so knowing that I wanted to study communications, fun fact, I was actually a journalism major at first. So I knew that Howard was number one for graduating African Americans and Black professionals in communications. Second, I loved the DC area and just having access to the East Coast. I knew eventually I wanted to end up in New York after graduation, so thought that was like a very easy path. I mean, everything's pretty close out here. And then lastly, just the culture and the history. I remember like I knew about, the academics part, but researching just the rich alumni who went there and what they're doing in their field currently. Not only like the famous ones that you hear about, like Chadwick Boseman, Taraji P. Henson, the Felicia Rashads of the world, but people who we interact with or I interact with on a daily basis. It just really, really sold me. And so, yeah, Howard was by far the best decision I've made. I've learned so much. I'm better for it. I've met some amazing folks and credit a lot of my success to Howard University. So I'm forever indebted.
I love that. And
Yeah.
as you know, they do have pageants at
Hmm.
Howard. And you are a big pageant girl, a
Yes.
legend in the pageant industry. So why did you choose to not compete in pageants at Howard, or did you ever maybe think of competing for Miss Howard University or Miss Freshman?
That is an amazing question. And people ask me that like pretty often. And I'm so glad I have the opportunity to answer it. So my freshman year, I was Miss Illinois Teen USA 2019. So that kind of ruled me out. Thank you. Thank you. That kind of ruled me out of competing in pageantry. But then my sophomore year, I believe, I was involved in the pageant system at Howard, but I was a pageant coordinator. So I've been competing for years and I thought I'm at Howard. on, you know, a great campus and they have a great pageant community, why don't I pour into the next generation of pageant competitors and be on a different side? So it really wasn't anything like I didn't want to compete or I didn't enjoy pageantry at Howard. Because let me tell you, HBCU pageants are like none other. They are so much fun. They're so lit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to take on a different side of pageants. And so sophomore year, I coordinated the College of Arts and Sciences pageant. We had about 10 contestants. And so I was doing everything from like helping to coordinate the opening number, doing walking patterns, helping the contestants with their speech and with their onstage question. And so that was really fulfilling for me because I'd never been on that side. And I love to have that personal interaction with people. And I still keep in contact with some of my contestants to this day. I helped out with other pageants, and I've definitely stayed involved in the pageant community at Howard, whether that's like helping contestants or just being like hands and feet on pageant day. So I love pageants at Howard and I love pageants in general. But, you know, while I was at college, my main focus was getting my degree and
Mhm.
getting a job after I graduated. And so I knew that if I were to compete, like it would just take up like so much of my time. And I wanted to experience this different side.
That is fantastic. Wow, I actually never knew that that you did that before. So this is actually a
Yeah,
fun fact for me because I always
yeah,
when I was like, oh my gosh, she goes to Howard University. Like, why isn't she competing at the pageants at Howard? So that is really really cool, and I find it so fascinating that you were really able to get an insight um on how it was to maybe not be in the crown and the banner, not have the gown on, you know,
yeah,
be backstage. So that's so cool. Wow.
yeah.
So my next question for you before we start one of our many games
Oh,
is
okay.
yes, is what my voice, guys.
You're good.
What African American queen has impacted your pageant journey?
Oh my gosh, so many. Oh my gosh, wow. So I'd say like the first queen that I saw myself in was Carissa Cameron. She was Miss America 2010. And that's really when I started pageantry. And you know, that first pageant I did, I was 10 years old. I didn't really see many little brown girls that looked like me and wasn't in the pageant community enough to know of like the legends before Carissa Cameron, the Black Miss Americas, the Black Miss USAs. And so seeing Carissa Cameron win in that beautiful yellow dress, and at the time her platform was around like AIDS prevention, and my aunt had recently passed away from AIDS. So I really, really resonated with her and just her style and her grace and her representing our community. So that's like one of the first queens who truly impacted me. I definitely have to pay homage to Chesley Christ. She holds the I don't want to get emotional, but she holds a very, very special place in my heart because we won or we competed the same year at Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. And I'm very, very close with Kaylee Garris, who was obviously her team. So have to shout those two people out. But honestly, like if I'm being real, it's queens like you. It's queens like Faith Pierre Charles, Imani Muse, who was the first Miss Illinois or first Black Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen, and we reigned the same year. So she was Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen. I was Miss Illinois Teen USA. I was the second Black queen. Sydney Dion Bennett before me was the first Black queen who crowned me. So I love looking up to legends and people who have won their big titles, but it's it's the queens like you and the younger little Black girls who are just wanting to make a change in their community and who are making the most positive impact in the pageant community. So you guys all inspire me. I love looking at your posts and hyping you up in the comments and seeing the crowning reactions is just like everything for me. So I'm so glad to see that the pageant community has gotten a lot more inclusive and is making space for queens of all colors, to be honest.
I definitely agree. So we are going to start with one of our many games called Guess That Quote. You guys can help Amaya down
Please
below.
help me, help me.
Help her. I have been saying this for a while, but I don't think anyone has gotten a 4 out of
Oh,
4.
snap. Okay.
But I believe in you. I've been believing in everybody, but I really think that you got
I
this.
feel like I win to the best
You did.
HBCU ever,
For
so
sure.
I have to know
For
my
sure.
Black history.
There
Yes,
might be
okay.
people fighting in the YouTube comments from you saying that, but I agree that Howard's the best.
Let them talk. Let them talk. It's
Howard's
okay.
definitely the best. So don't quote me, guys. You can quote me, but okay, let's start. Guess that quote. So I'm gonna
Okay.
say a quote, 3 options. One of the options are the answers. You guys
Okay.
can help me down below. Okay, so this is the first quote. If you can, always be appreciative of the flow of losses and wins. Was this said by Denzel Washington, Samuel F. Jackson, or Jamie Foxx?
Do I get like context, like where the quote was said, or is just a quote?
No, no,
Okay.
but it's an actor. it's an actor.
That narrows it down.
What do you guys
Always be
think?
appreciative of the losses, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, can you repeat the quote one more
Sure.
time?
If you can, always be appreciative of the flow of losses and wins.
Okay. So I feel like that came from someone who's had a lot of losses.
That's what I think.
My dad is saying Samuel L. Jackson. Has he lost a lot?
I don't know. Has he? I
Denzel.
think all 3 of them have won a lot, to be completely honest. I think they've definitely won more than lost. Someone said Denzel.
Honestly, okay, we're just going to say
We're going
Denzel. We're
to
going
say
to say
Denzel.
Denzel. Final answer.
Final answer is Denzel Washington. That is a great answer.
Is it correct?
It's Jamie Foxx.
You know what's crazy? I was going to say Jamie Foxx because I feel like, to me, he's one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
Really good. Yes.
And I like nerd out on music history, like performing arts. So I watch the podcast with him. Anyway, but he is so slept on. And I feel like out of all 3 of them, he has the most amount of losses. Man,
Yeah.
okay. All
Someone
right,
said
that was
yikes.
my gut.
It's okay, guys. Listen, we have 3 more. So she could, a 3 out of 4 is nice. A 2 out of 4 is nice.
Yeah.
That one was really hard. These are, I've been talking about, like, these are really hard quotes.
Yeah.
These are really hard. Okay. I think you got this, though. This is the next one.
Okay.
The #1 rule of acting is do not seek approval from the audience. People don't realize that. You can't do stuff to get applause. You have to live in the truth.
I like that. Okay.
Was this said by Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith, or Chadwick Boseman?
The #1 rule of acting. That's said by like a true actor. And he said audience.
Yes.
So that's someone who performs on stage. Because you don't get, okay, I'm just thinking this through. Say the option
What do you guys think
one more time.
Come back. One more time? You want the quote one more time?
The option.
The options, okay. Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith, or Chadwick Boseman?
I'm going to go with Chadwick, my Howard brother.
That's a good answer because that's correct.
Yes, let's go.
I was trying not to smile too much, which is why I paused before Will Smith. I'm gonna go ahead. Yes, it wasn't Michael B. Jordan. It was Chadwick. Shout out to him. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. Is it the acting program is named after him at Howard, correct? Or is it the auditorium?
Yeah, the College of Fine Arts is now the Chadwick Boseman College of Fine Arts, and they named the building in his honor as well.
That is fantastic. Wow. Listen, guys, many of the greats have went to Howard. We know this. It's excellence.
There's another one in the comments, Lindsay. Hey, girl, I had to shout her out. She is basically the reason why I'm working at the NFL. Went to Howard. She's just amazing. So
I love the sisterhood. I love to see, and that's also something I want to highlight, that pageantry has really created such an amazing sisterhood, honestly. So that's fantastic. Next one, guys. Okay. Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by others doing it. Was this said by Chadwick Boseman, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, or Morgan Freeman. I just gave you 4
Oh
choices.
God.
It gets
Say it one more
harder.
time.
It gets harder.
Say the quote one more time.
Okay. Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by others doing it.
Okay. And what was the last option?
The last option was Morgan Freeman.
I think I'm gonna go with Morgan.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say the options one more time.
Chadwick Boseman,
Okay.
James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, or Morgan Freeman.
Okay. I think Chadwick is out because he was just the last one. I don't know who James Baldwin is, to be honest. Don't hate me, but that doesn't sound like him. Langston, the quote sounds like kind of modern term, so I think Langston Hughes is out.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Morgan Freeman. Kind of like answer.
Do you guys agree with Morgan Freeman? Comment down below if you guys agree with the Maya.
Oh my gosh.
The answer is James Baldwin.
Oh man, see?
It does sound very modern.
It does. But to be honest, like I don't know who James Baldwin is, so I wouldn't have known that anyway. My mom said writer James Baldwin.
You guys said it at the end when I already said the answer. It's okay.
Man,
it's okay.
I need to read up on who James Baldwin is because clearly I'm missing out. That was a good quote.
Okay, next one. I think this is the last one for this game. But we have another new game that I can't wait to play with you in a few. Okay, so this is the last quote, guys. We need Maya to get a 2 out of 4 at least. Come on, guys.
At the bare minimum. Y'all got to
bare minimum.
Just start typing when you hear
exactly. It. Come on, guys. Type. You guys can even type the quotes. No, it's cheating, but just type the quotes. Okay. It's more important for me to see the mess and the imperfection along with the beauty of all that. For me to feel validated. Wow. This is a really good one. Was this said by Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, or Halle Berry?
That is so hard.
It is hard, right?
Say it one more time.
It's important. It's more important for me to see the mess and the imperfection along with the beauty and all of that for me to feel validated.
It's either Viola or Angela. Who just got an EGOT? Viola?
I know. Congratulations to her.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's Viola.
You're correct. You're correct. Yes. Okay, 2 out of 4, which is... Wait, actually, or is it 2 out of 3? No, it's 2 out of 4. That's still amazing.
The other one, James Baldwin, doesn't count because I don't know who that is. So technically it's 2.5 out of 4, but
we can say 3 out of 4 since you didn't know who James Baldwin was. 3 out of 4. Yeah, for sure. You did very well. Very well.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get back to these questions. So we talked about pageantry a little bit, and we talked a little bit about Howard University and a little bit about the NFL. And since it is Black History Month, let's deep dive into that. What does Black Girl Magic mean to you?
I like this question. To me, Black Girl Magic is owning every single part of your Blackness and doing that unapologetically. I think for me, like growing up in a suburban neighborhood and like being one of very few Black girls, there were times at which I shrunk or, you know, I love fashion. I love to express myself. I'm very extra, but I would go into spaces and feel like I had to dim myself down and can only portray like the full me in a pageantry mode. Even when it comes to pageantry, sometimes like I wasn't my complete 100% authentic self, based out of fear what other people would think and not necessarily people who were Black. So going to Howard was like the first time where I felt I could truly embrace me and all my quirks and my Blackness that might not look like a Black person from, you know, the southernmost part of Alabama or a Black person from the West Coast. And that's okay because the Black experience is not a monolith. And so now being in the corporate world where I'm taken out of that super welcoming and, fully Black environment, I'm learning that my Blackness and my uniqueness is what contributes to a successful work environment and what makes um, our team so different and great, and that my opinions and my experiences are validated. It's really cool because I work kind of adjacently to our diversity, equity, and inclusion group, and also on a lot of our HBCU initiatives. So there are many times where, people are looking at me to be like, well, as an HBCU grad, what do you think? As a Black woman, what do you think? And so if I shrink and am not honest with myself and my team, like that's just only doing a disservice to them and doing a disservice to the NFL as a whole, to be honest. So, saying Black girl magic is just like owning every inch of yourself and, letting it shine for the whole world to see.
I love that answer. I definitely agree with you. And since we are talking about Black girl magic, why don't we also talk about Black excellence? So, how are you able to show that Black excellence every single day?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I do my best, and my mom and I were just having a conversation about this last night, that I've been so blessed that I've been raised in an environment, and honestly, shout out to my parents. I know they're both on this live watching my every move. But they've raised me that when I do a job, it needs to be done to its fullest completion and to the best of your ability. I remember my parents always used to get on to me about like making my bed every morning and, ironing my clothes. They always instilled in me the power of excellence. And so, I mean, that really hasn't left me 23 years later, whether it be in work, with my friends, like just showing up. I have always had a standard of excellence. And so I try to maintain that throughout every single thing I do. And there's no doubt that like I'll fall short sometimes, but that doesn't mean I don't learn or I don't come back the next time even harder and even greater.
Amazing. And what are your future goals? I mean, you've already achieved so much, but I know you have many more plans. So why don't you talk to us about those plans and how has pageantry been able to help you achieve those future plans?
Yeah, no doubt that pageantry has given me an amazing platform and has shown me what you can do with your platform. I think a lot of us pageant girls, we don't necessarily want to win for the glitz and the glamour and the crown and the photo shoots. Well, all that stuff is nice and it's great. We're truly in it for the impact that we can make just with the crown and banner and the lives that we can touch through the platform that we have as title holders. And so, even though I don't have a title right now currently, I can still make an impact in so many ways. And I think that's really the common thread with everything I do. So, with that being said, like my future goals, I definitely want to stay in sports. My passion, really, the reason I got into sports is to help athletes, and to help those guys and those girls who, might fall short in their sport or have a career ending injury or might not be, first round draft pick or a starter for their team, but still want to make an impact in their community and still are really, really passionate about their sport. So I would love to be able to help athletes get involved in their communities, start their own foundation, and really just develop them outside of the field or the court. So I don't know exactly how that looks yet, but that's kind of my ultimate goal, and that's what's driving me currently.
I love that. And do you have a favorite Black owned business or maybe a Black owned business that you shop at a lot?
Hmm. Honestly, right now I'm so into
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna. She just obviously performed the Super Bowl halftime show, but just like she is literally a mogul. And on top of that, she's a mom. So to me right now, she's really inspiring. I love Fenty Beauty. I'm gonna go try their like butter, their lotion that everyone's
Ooh.
been talking about. Yeah. But other than that, I love like supporting local Black owned restaurants in New York. I know Uncles in or Aunts and Uncles in Brooklyn is so good. It's a vegan restaurant. I've been vegan for like almost 3 years. So yeah, I really enjoy like supporting local Black businesses and restaurants just in New York and also like on a global level, like Fenty and stuff like that.
I also Love Fenty. That is one of my most favorite
Uh, she's
cosmetic
just,
companies.
yeah.
Their stuff is amazing. And also
Hmm.
shout out to Rihanna. I mean, it's like this is like the level. Rihanna goes over the level. Like she just
She's just
exceeds.
everything.
I
And she
mean,
does it
exceeds perfection.
effortlessly. Like,
Honestly, and I mean, her Super Bowl performance was fantastic.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she's just amazing. I love her. And we have a few more questions until the next
Yeah.
game called This or That. I'm really excited to play that with you
Ooh.
because
Okay.
you are the second person to ever play this game since this is a new game
Nice.
that I just created.
Cool.
So, my next question for you is what does Black History Month mean to you, and how can students celebrate Black History Month more?
Good question. To me, Black History Month is a time to reflect and remember all of the contributions that the Black community has made to society, and really just how far we've come. I mean, if you really want to get deep with it, we have come from the lowest of lows, being bought, literally seen as objects and not even people, to being in the highest position in the world. And so to me, that is progress and deserves to be celebrated, not just for 28 days, but year round. But
Mhm.
in the realm of this conversation, I'm going to say during Black History Month. But it's also understanding the progress that we have to make. You know, in this country, Black men, Black women are not always seen as equal. Black women are not being paid nearly as competitively as their white counterparts. And so there's so many areas that we still have work to do, which I think needs to be acknowledged as well. So that's kind of what Black History Month means to me. And how can students celebrate Black History Month? It's really by just like understanding the Black history that's around you, whether that be like people who were the first Miss Illinois Teen USA's to be crowned. Shout out to
Mhm.
Sydney. Or even at the Super Bowl, since I'm in this world, we just had the first Black woman ever to coach a Super Bowl on the Eagles. Um, why am I blanking on her name? Autumn Lockwood. So it's really just understanding and recognizing and paying homage and amplifying the Black history that's around you every day. I'm sure if we got into a deep conversation, I would learn how you've made history. And if I kept talking, you would learn how I've made history in
Mhm.
my own community, in my own world. And so it's really just a month-long celebration, and it's the best. So yeah.
Amazing. Next is our game, but before our game, I just want to say that it's so amazing interviewing you. I mean, to see you be able to accomplish so many phenomenal goals and to be able to come back where it all started, talking on my live about
Yeah.
pageantry with me. I'm just
Yeah.
so thankful to have you here, and it's an honor to be able to speak to you, and I can't wait to see honestly all the more amazing things that you do in the future. So I just wanted
Thank
to say that before we start our
you.
game because
Yeah.
it's
And yeah, I was gonna say, let me take a moment to like brag on you as well, and just congratulate you. I've watched your pageant journey from afar and have seen your persistence and your confidence grow year after year. And so to come to arguably one of the biggest pageant systems, like I never won NAM, so like it's really amazing. And so I'm extremely proud of you as well. And I appreciate you having me on here. So we're just sharing the love here,
we're
y'all. Don't
just
mind us.
sharing the love. Okay, so I'm actually really excited for this. This is called This or That. I'm going to give you two different
Okay,
options, and you're going to be able to pick whichever you want. But you're
cool.
also going to have to explain why.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the first one: Jackson 5 or
Mm.
The Temptations. This is hard.
Oh, I'm, uh, and
This is
I
hard.
love music, and I've really gotten into like old school music now, but I just feel like I know more Jackson 5
Mhm.
music. So I'm gonna have to go Jackson 5. And also Michael Jackson is like up there as the greatest artist of all
Yes,
time, artist, performer, musician.
mhm,
So Jackson 5.
definitely. I love
Yeah.
them both. You guys can also comment down below, and if you guys disagree with them, you guys can comment down below and be no. This is what I think. Um, Good answer. Both two amazing boy bands for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny's Child or the Supremes?
Interesting. They're both so like they're in two different generations, but have a lot
Yes.
of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's no doubt like the Supremes walk so Destiny's Child could run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm Gen Z, so I'm gonna have to go Destiny's
Mm-hmm.
Child. I love Beyonce. I'm not a part of the Beehive because y'all a little crazy, but I'm obsessed with
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce and oh my gosh, Kelly Rowland. Like
Yes.
she is just everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be Destiny's
Yes.
Child for me.
Shout out to Michelle as well. We love
I'm
you.
sorry, Michelle girl. Yeah, you cool too.
Yes, and since you said Destiny's Child, do you have like a favorite Destiny's Child song?
Ooh, girl. Girl is a really
Mm-hmm.
good song. Girl. Needed somebody to talk to. Girl. Yeah, I love that song. It's just such a good, like, I love the message around
Yes.
it. It's basically like checking your girlfriend, like, I'm your girl. You're our girl. Like, we are all here for you. It's such like a women empowerment song.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a great beat. Beyonce carries the song, obviously, as she always
Mm-hmm.
does. So yeah, that's my favorite song.
Yeah, I love that song also, and I especially love how with Destiny Child that the majority, actually, I think all of their songs were very uplifting,
Hmm.
and that is something that we've actually, or I've been able to see a lot with African American female artists. A lot of, even whether it's Lizzo or just
Yeah.
Beyonce, they are all about uplifting, and that's something that I especially love.
Hmm.
So I wanted to highlight that.
Yeah.
Next, Break My Soul or From the World Girls. Or is it Girls Run
Ooh.
the World? One Beehive, let me
I
know.
know what you mean. I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah.
Break my soul or run the world.
Both two really good songs.
Oh my gosh.
It is hard.
I'm gonna have to say break my
Mm,
soul
mm,
because break my soul, well, the whole Renaissance
yes.
album, and don't get me to going on this, but the whole Renaissance album is truly iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new genre for Beyonce, and she crushed it as she always does. And I feel like Break My Soul just coming out like very little promo,
Mm-hmm.
very little press around it, and
Yes.
completely breaking the internet, like, period.
Yes.
So, and Big Frida's on it, which is just always
Yes.
iconic.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Break My Soul. Even though
Such
Run
a
the
good
World, like,
song. I
yeah,
mean,
it's good,
the
but
entire album, and I remember before the album came out, I really didn't, because a lot of times with albums, you'll hear so much about it, but I didn't hear so much about this
nope.
album. But when it came out, I was just like, number one again. Beyonce did
Yeah.
it again. She
Yeah.
did it again. Such,
Did you
oh my
get
goodness.
tickets to her concert?
Hmm?
Did you get tickets to her
I,
concert?
I did not. I think when I went on Ticketmaster and I realized that I had to sign up beforehand to even be able to get tickets,
Yeah.
it
Uh-huh.
was sold out. So I will be watching happily on YouTube.
Oh man, you can
Are
find
you
some tickets. Hit up the
going?
resale sites. I did get tickets through someone
Okay.
else, so it's this whole thing. We're going in Vegas, but yeah,
Oh,
I'm
nice. Oh
excited.
my goodness. So you will
Yeah.
have to send me videos as you are there for
Oh,
sure.
I'll document the whole entire thing. Don't you worry.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. I know we're gonna start ranting about Beyonce, but did you see her performance in Dubai? I mean, obviously on YouTube.
I saw, okay, to be honest, I saw snippets of it,
Yes.
but I am I don't know how to describe it, but I'm like, let that performance be for that audience. It
Okay.
wasn't meant to be seen. Like, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to see Beyonce, it's going
Yes.
to be a full production. I'm going to see it with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I saw bits and pieces of it, but I'm like, you know what? We're just going to wait till the real deal.
Yes, for sure. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's something very different between watching it on YouTube and seeing it in person, even if it's like a Broadway musical. The
Oh, for
feeling of
sure.
seeing someone perform in person is just so different. So I'm hoping that Beyonce comes out with another album so I'm able to go see her concert.
You're going to be on the
Well,
Renaissance tour. Don't even worry about it. We're going to
yes,
find you
after
tickets.
this, I'm going to Ticketmaster. I'm going to try to get tickets.
Yeah.
So I will let you
There you
know.
go.
Besides us fangirling over the Queen Bee, would you rather unlimited Telfar bags or unlimited Ivy Park clothing?
Ooh. So there's something very interesting about these options. I don't hate me. I'm not the biggest fan of Telfar.
Okay.
Although I love all my Black businesses, it's just not my style. And then I was watching or listening to a podcast yesterday, and they were saying how like Ivy Park, their sales are dropping, and like the clothes aren't like functional. Like you don't know where to wear
Okay.
them. So I'm torn. I don't
I'm
know.
torn too, to be completely honest with you. Both really amazing Black-owned businesses.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Ivy Park
Okay.
because maybe that'll motivate me to like work out a little bit more. So yeah.
Okay. We love Ivory Park and Telfar. Shout out to those amazing Black
We do.
businesses. You know, I had to add this since you work at the NFL. Eagles or Chiefs?
You guys. Fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. Jalen Hurts, that is my guy. And I'm supposed to be rooting for all 32 teams and like be very unbiased, but I'm an Eagles fan. I went to the playoff game against the Giants. Like I've been following Jalen Hurts since he got drafted, actually before he got drafted.
Oh, wow.
So Eagles fan, 100%. I do love the Chiefs because I have a personal relationship with like the owners.
Oh, wow.
And they're a great team too, but I'm so sorry, go Birds.
Go Birds. Yes, one of my friends in my class, when she found out that the Eagles were in the final, she was like, "Yeah, the Eagles are winning for sure." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "All right,
oh God,
go Eagles and Chiefs."
He'll be back, don't worry. But I'm happy for the Chiefs, definitely.
So my next question, well, for this quiz / game, obviously, Proud Family or the Cleveland Show?
I don't know what the Cleveland Show is.
Oh, really? The Cleveland Show is like, I was trying to figure out another Black-based cartoon, and I couldn't find any other.
Probably just me, to be honest. As a kid, all I watched was That's a Raven and
Oh, no, same.
Hannah Montana.
Yes. I should have said Proud Family or That's a Raven, but I feel like that's impossible to choose from.
No.
The Cleveland Show was like Family Guy, but just African American.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out, but I'll go with Proud Family.
Okay. Proud Family.
I had a crazy childhood and don't know about the Cleveland Show.
She'll be researching that next. Yeah. Proud Family, so good. Oh my gosh, did you see the spinoff?
I've seen a little bit of it. It's actually really, really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Really good. And I think that they did a very great job because a lot of times when shows make spinoffs, the spinoffs are completely different than how the show used to be. So I feel like the Proud Family put in that extra work to make sure that it was going to be better than ever. So
for sure. Yeah. It was really funny. I'm like, is this the original? Like, are you sure this is a new episode?
Yes.
But,
and the jokes are, because, back then, I guess some of the jokes were not appropriate as jokes are now, but they still have those funny jokes. So I really, really like that. So next one, we have 2 more left.
Okay.
Black Panther or Wakanda Forever?
Ooh. Funny story. So I saw Wakanda Forever with some of my coworkers, like after work, after a super long day, and I fell asleep the first time. I saw Wakanda Forever, but it's okay because I went back the second time and bawled like a baby.
Yes.
But Black Panther was also really good. I saw it like 3 times in the theater. Which one did I like better though? I'm gonna have to say the original Black Panther.
Understandable.
I just felt like too many people died in Wakanda Forever. It was a lot of change going on.
Death after death.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So the original one is I'm gonna go with that one.
I was especially really sad when they had Angela Bassett's character die. And I mean, it came out of nowhere. Why? It came out of nowhere. It's insane. I'm going to see the next one though, the 3rd movie.
Yeah. We got to continue this because now, like, what is it? Namor? I didn't fully understand where they were at with him.
That storyline. Okay.
Yeah, they were supposed to be cool, but I'm like, it's not giving that he's cool
Yeah,
with
no.
them. Like he's gonna come back and just take
Mm-hmm.
over. So my mom said it was about the empowering of women though. I don't think she's seen the second movie, to be honest.
I was just like,
So I don't know what you're talking about. But
hmm
yeah, I have to go with the original one. The first one is always better than the second one, I feel
Yeah,
like.
the first, I mean, it's the first one was just, it had Chadwick in it. It was
Yeah.
just over, and it had Michael B. Jordan. It was just
Oh my God,
overall
yeah.
really, really good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so my last one, this is protective styles. So you got to pick
Oh,
which one.
okay.
Okay. Would you rather braids or slick back or a wash and go?
Ooh, I am not a natural
Okay.
girl. Like at all. I do not enjoy doing my natural hair. Like I
hmm
love my natural hair, obviously, but like it's too thick to do it. I'm
hmm
mostly in a sew-in or braids, so I'm gonna say braids for sure. I think one of my goals, like as the weather gets warmer, is to like venture out into more protective styles. So different styles of braids, but I'm a braids and weave girl.
Love
I
it.
wish I could be a naturalista, and I envy everyone who can just wake up, wash their hair, slap a few products in,
hmm
and go out the door because that is not my reality.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Okay, I couldn't hear you. No, now I hear
Okay,
you.
now you can hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I was saying
Okay.
that it's not the reality for me either. No, when I was in middle school, I would do a wash and go every single day. And you
Wow.
can't do that in New York because the weather is extremely cold.
Yeah.
I guess like two
Yeah.
out of four times. So I was getting sick a lot. So it
Wow.
was
That's so
like
funny.
it was like every other day. I don't know how I was doing
No
that. So I like
way.
I like braids as well because
Yeah.
I feel like it's more manageable because you could like you said, you could like wear your extensions or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like
Yeah.
braids. So we're gonna get back to a few more questions with
Cool.
Amaya. She has been such an amazing guest, guys. You need to comment down below and ask her some more questions because I don't know if I've asked her every single thing yet. So we talked about Howard, and we're gonna go back to Howard because Howard is amazing and you graduated from it.
Favorite topic.
So I've been told by a lot of people that the HBCU experience is like no other. Can you talk to us about that and maybe your favorite experience going to Howard University?
I mean, it's totally true. I feel like I first witnessed that on Accepted Students Day when I wasn't even a student. I was in high school and still kind of deciding if I wanted to go to Howard. And I'm sitting in Crampton Auditorium. Showtime Marching Band comes out. The cheerleaders come out. Ooh La La comes out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely agree with like HBCU culture is the best culture. Homecoming, obviously over the top lit. We have Spring Fest, which I think Ayana talked about, which is kind of like our springtime version of homecoming. There's Darty season. Um, there's just so much to do. And I feel like my FOMO, my fear of missing out, is credited to Howard because I was always afraid that I was missing something, an event or a party or a game or anything like that. I think my favorite experience while I was an undergrad, um, I would have to say graduation week slash weekend. Like, that was just amazing to just reflect on where we've come as freshmen, to sophomores, to being at home for the pandemic, surviving the pandemic, coming back on campus stronger than ever, and then having such an amazing ceremony and just a celebration with the people who I've been writing with since day one at Howard was just a really, really full circle moment for me. And to know that my closest friends and see where we started of just having aspirations to be in our industries or to meet goals and to run for positions on campus, and then to see that take place and to see us graduating and going off to the highest of heights, like it just makes my heart so happy. So that was a great memory. Another one I'll throw in there is kind of more on the academic side. So I was in the honors program at Howard, the Annenberg Honors Program. And a part of that within the School of Communications is to write a graduate level research thesis. So I chose mine on Southern college football dominance and the Black male athlete experience. So a very, very loaded topic. And I literally spent all 4 years of college researching, reading, talking to people, understanding, kind of the deep dives of my research, editing, writing. And so at the end of my senior year, I presented my research at Howard's research conference. And that was really, really cool because I wrote 50 pages and done all this work, and to just present that at the end and share my findings and have that kind of be the launch pad into my career now is like so, so amazing. So I could go on and on about fun memories at Howard, but I think the biggest thing is that it was a great place to not only turn up and to have fun, but to also learn from the best of the best in the industry, get an amazing education, and use those connections to really put you in the position that you want to be post-grad.
Fantastic. Number one, many topics we want to touch on. First one, I did not realize that you went to college during quarantine. That is,
I did.
wow. So can you please talk to us a little bit about that experience? Because I mean, first and foremost, I want to commemorate you and everyone else that went to college during that time, because I know how difficult that must have been. So how did Howard help you guys as students during that really hard time?
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, it was really, really hard. Just to kind of abruptly be moved out of our dorms to come back home, and just a time of uncertainty was really difficult. And then being expected to perform well in our classrooms. I think teachers, professors did a great job with just like giving us grace and allowing us time to process everything that was going on. But, there's still work to be done. Like, I can't just sit at home all day and watch the news and try to understand what's happening. Like, I have assignments to turn in. And so one of the ways Howard did help us was by installing a pass-fail option. So if we didn't want to take, the grade and the impact on our GPA, we could literally just opt in for pass-fail. I personally didn't do that, but I know a lot of people who went through hardships during the pandemic, whether it was like being displaced from their home, not having adequate technology, having to work even just to, provide for themselves and their families. That was a really, really huge help for them. And then I think Howard did a great job of just like informing us of what would be happening. They really advocated hard for us to come back on campus in 2021. Ultimately, that fell through just because of the high rates of COVID and, ongoing things happening in our nation's capital. And also being that DC is relatively small, and there are so many other colleges and universities within the district. It just wasn't smart, but there's no doubt that Howard tried, and Howard wanted us to return back to normal because we were all missing some sort of formal instruction and just in-person interaction. So I think Howard did a great job that when we did come back, we were safe. There were plans in place. If you did have COVID, to quarantine, we had to test every week. And there were some weeks where I'm like, I do not have time to take this test. And I would not be able to come into classrooms and things like that. So there's no doubt that it was hard. And, during that time, I was kind of working with student council in school communications and with our Howard University Student Association to advocate for, just virtual hangouts and interactions just to see each other again. But we're Bison, we're strong. We got through it. We came back better than ever. And my senior year was just a testament of that. So yeah, I'm just glad I made it through because that was the time.
It's amazing that you and the rest of your class were able to make it through, because I know that was such a hard time, especially for you guys in college. I know for me, I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore.
Wow.
And it felt very difficult, but I could only imagine how it was being a college student right in the middle. I mean, especially for the seniors, people that were graduating. So it's very admirable that Howard University really tried their best. And it just goes to show that they do whatever they can for their students. So my last question, and also comment down below, guys, if you have any more questions for Maya. I will be posting this on YouTube, so you guys will be able to go back, and I'll be linking her Instagram, all of her social media, so you guys are able to connect with her if you want. My last question is, what would you tell someone that is considering going to an HBCU but maybe doesn't know what they want to
Hmm. Um, I would obviously encourage them to go.
do?
Um, but really, I think your experience is what you made it. If I would have listened to all the negative things I heard about Howard being like their financial aid and their administration and the location that it is in DC, I would have not been the person that I am today, to be honest. So there's no doubt that there's so many hindrances and hesitations from attending an HBCU, but my parents are on here. They're the product of HBCUs. My dad is the product of 3 HBCUs. And so there's no doubt that they produce excellence and that they produce a greatness within you, not just in the classroom, but as people. Howard has built my leadership skills. Like I was talking about being a coordinator for a pageant. That is a lot of work. It was a crazy amount of work. And that experience, I don't think I would have gotten at a predominantly white institution. So I would say, really just allow your experience to be your own, work hard, advocate for yourself. There's no doubt that I came against, trials and tribulations, financial issues. Howard did not cover all of my tuition. I'm so blessed that I was in a position to come out of college debt free, but I applied to scholarships. I asked people if they had money. I took on, at one point in my senior year, 3 jobs just to be able to sustain the lifestyle that I had and to, pay for tuition. So you really, you have to do the work on your own, but you also have to do the research on your own and know exactly what you're getting yourself into and allow your experience to be your own and not be so swayed by outside opinions and to rely on that community that you build when you get to an HBCU. So I will forever be an advocate of historically Black colleges. I definitely understand they're not for everyone, and that is okay. But I think everyone should at least explore the option, should visit in person, should go to at least one homecoming before making that final decision, because you could be missing out on like the biggest blessing of your life. So yeah.
I definitely agree. I will be going to a Howard homecoming very soon. Hopefully next year.
Okay. It'll happen. It'll happen.
But yeah, I mean, it's been such an honor to be able to speak to you, Amaya, a Howard University graduate and currently
Yes.
working at the NFL, a former
Yes.
national, international, state pageant queen. I think the biggest question that a lot of us or a lot of my pageant viewers will want to know is, will you be getting on the pageant stage? I think this is a question I've actually was
Illinois.
when you competed at TUSA, was that your last time? Or are you going to come back on?
Yeah, so the last time I set foot on a stage was the summer of 2021. I was Miss Illinois Collegiate America and competed at Miss Collegiate America, where, who won my year? Why am I blanking on her name? Oh my gosh. Anyways,
Okay.
the girl won. I placed top 15. I had an amazing experience. Oh, Ashley won my year. I had an amazing experience there, but I truly think, and that was during my junior year of college, I truly think I took my mom. Yeah, great question. I really took my senior year to stay focused on, graduating and just making sure my future was set up correctly. So when I was competing at collegiate, I was also interning at the NFL Network in LA. So I was balancing both, and that was extremely hard, trying to work and, put my name out there and going into the office and being a great intern and also preparing for like a really, really big national pageant. And so when I realized that, I knew that when I come back to the stage, I want to be able to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of effort into competing and into training. So with that being said, in the near future, of course, I want to step back on the stage. I just want it to be the right time for myself. And when I'm ready, I think I'm focused right now on building my career and getting my feet wet, and my schedule right now is like literally insane. So when things die down a bit, there's no doubt that I'll come back to the stage. But for now, I'm enjoying watching all of you guys and doing hair and makeup and coaching and just being a fan of all the pageant queens. But my time is coming, so don't worry.
Yay! I'm very excited to see you on the stage very soon. I also respect your decision on focusing on your career. And I've heard many people say this, that pageantry is not the final destination. It's a building block
Yeah.
to be able to
Oh,
meet
for
that final
sure.
destination. So
Yeah.
I think you're just a testimony of that. And like I said before, I really respect your decision to focus on your career. So
Thank you.
I love that pageant girls are able to balance both. So,
Yes.
and you've done it before, so that's just so fantastic. If you guys have any
Yeah.
more questions for Maya, please comment down below. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Oh my goodness,
We
it
have.
has been so fun being able to interview you. I know that you will be back because I'm going to be interviewing IJM and Legacies very soon.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay,
yes,
fun.
so you guys will see her again. We'll be on live together
Yes,
again.
yes. I've so enjoyed
Mhm.
talking with you. This was a great way to end my day, to cap off on a crazy week.
Yes.
So I'm so glad we were able to make this work and our schedules allowed. Keep doing you, keep like just being that light, not only in the pageant community, but for all the little Black girls out there who are looking up to you. You're absolutely killing it. Just so proud of you, and I appreciate you having me on and just like thinking of me. And this series is so cool. I encourage you guys, like, go back and watch some of the other episodes. Like, I loved watching Ayana's. I popped into Kennedy's for a few seconds. Sierra is like, we're really cool. So it's really awesome, and it's great to see like the HBCU representation within the pageant community.
Yes.
Um, Hopefully that influences some other people to attend HBCUs and just see what's possible, and give us a platform to really show that. So yeah, all the flowers go to you, girl.
All the flowers go to you too. Thank you. Thank you so much again. And thank you guys for all tuning in. I will be uploading this in 3 hours.
Awesome.
So thank you so much again, Amaya, and thank you to everyone that joined in and supported us. It's an honor and it's a privilege. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Have a wonderful day, Amaya. Talk to you soon.
Thank you too. Bye.
Bye, guys.